Okay, the last thing we saw was Kadiskaf Sitra Achra. Which means when you subdue the Sitra Achra, so it goes out, the glory of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that exists in all of the worlds equally, i.e., Seviv Kolam, the light that surrounds the world, as opposed to or Mamala, or the light that fills the world. This is just a cameo appearance, right? You're not back.
Cameo appearance until Monday.
Oh, okay.
Or Tuesday.
That's pretty good. That's not bad. Okay. Which means that a level of light, or seviv, an incredibly powerful level of godly light, is revealed when you and I tell our Yitzhahar to go fly a kite. Vehine, Masha Kosev, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 lines up from the bottom of the page, end of the line. Vehine, Masha Kosev b'chul almin, that which it says b'chul almin. Hakavana al madurega sa'or, this we saw yesterday. The intention is regarding the level of light, shehu b'chul almin b'shav, that is in all the worlds equally. V'hainu or hasevev kol almin. The light that encompasses, surrounds the world, as we talked about yesterday. Different now. It doesn't mean that the light is not in the world. It's not that it's surrounded. If you were to take a spaceship, so you get out of the world, then you run into Or Sevev. Obviously, that's not what it means. When we say Sevev and Makif, we mean it's a light too powerful to be expressed in Kelim. In vessels, it's a light too powerful to be expressed in finite reality. Is it here? Of course it's here. Right? It's here like anything else is here. Right? There's no here and there. Right? When we talk about higher levels, lower levels, they're all here. It just there's levels of reality we experience and see, so to speak, and there's levels of reality that we don't. Just like Ratzon, which was our mushal in powers of the soul for Or Seviv, just like, and also Tainuk, pleasure, just like Ratzon is found in your body, I mean, it's part of you, right? I mean, it's not found somewhere else. It's not like you have to wait for some power that's hovering above you to come into you. Ratzon is part of you. Okay, but what? It's not clothed in any particular vessel. It's not expressed in any particular vessel. It's expressed in all of your vessels equally, in all of your limbs equally. Now, we talked about it at length yesterday. The revealed expression is not Ratzon. The revealed expression is moving your arm. That's Mamale. Mm-hmm. The power of movement is being revealed by virtue of the fact that you're moving your arm, or the power of movement is being expressed. It's a better word. By virtue of the fact that you're moving your arm. Okay, why are you moving your arm? Because you want to. Why do you want to? I don't know. That's your issue. It's not mine. Right? So you want to move your arm. Okay, so Ratzon is there. It's just not the revealed part of the event. The revealed part of the event is movement. Because movement is mamale. Movement is revealed reality. Right? Ratzon is superconscious you. But that superconscious you comes into your consciousness all the time. You become aware of it. You begin to think about it, which is already conscious you, which means that's mamale. It's happening in your brain. You're thinking about it. That's not intellect, but it's happening in your brain. Right? Not everything that happens in your brain is intellect. Mm-hmm. Not if you hit your finger with a hammer, so you feel it in your brain. That's not intellect. That's physical sensation. Okay. So the Ratzon comes into your conscious reality, and then you either act or don't act based on that Ratzon, depending on whether or not you think that's a good idea or not a good idea. Right? So if iskafi is what you do, and you have this, we'll generally call the Nevesh Abam is subconscious reality. Right? If there's some subconscious desire to do something, you become aware of that subconscious desire. You're also aware of the fact that that subconscious desire is not really in line with what you think truth is all about and what God thinks truth is all about, and hopefully those two things are the same. So then you don't do it. That's called iskafia. When you do that, you reveal a level of light called seviv, an incredibly powerful level of godly light. And if you think about it, if seviv is Ratzon in us, so then what is it in the Eibishter? Easy question. if the mashal for sevev in us is ratzon, wills, then what's sevev in the Kadosh Baruch Hu? Will, God's will. Okay, so when you subdue the sitracha, what are you connecting to?
Your own
God's will, not your own godly will, God's will. Right? God's will, sevev, revealing sevev. Now, just one point to finish up what we talked about. What's the difference between conscious reality and subconscious and superconscious reality? Control. Right? Whether I express this control or exert this control, you and I have complete and total control over our conscious reality. If we're doing a conscious act, it's because we want to. You can't blame anybody else. Right? Okay. So you said something that you wish you didn't say. Okay, but you said it. I mean, why'd you say it? Because you made a decision to say it. You weren't thinking when you said it. Of course you were thinking when you said it. You weren't thinking straight when you said it, but you were thinking when you said it because you can't do it without thinking. Okay, so I agree. You might feel badly that you said that. I get it. Okay. But I did have control not to say that. I do not have immediate control not to want to say that. Because that's not conscious me. The only part of you and I that we have control over is conscious you and I. Right? And that's Tanya, Aleph Beis and Tanya, Beinoni, first 12 chapters, we're finishing them now. Right? The Beinoni is someone who exerts the control over conscious reality that every single one of us ultimately has if we want to take control. Superconscious reality, I don't have immediate control over it. You can't decide I don't want this. I don't want it. Say something, I want that. Well, don't want it. Well, you don't want it. That's a ridiculous thing to say. I don't have control over that. Now, immediately. Over time, can I exert control over that? Absolutely. Back to our cigarette smoker. Will he want a cigarette in 5 years? No. He won't want one. Does he want one now? Wow. Is he going to smoke one now? Nope. He's quitting, Baruch Hashem. Successfully. Right? Okay. So he really wants it. He has no control over wanting it. He wants it. It's not conscious him. Right? Over time, he can change that desire. And then he won't want cigarettes in a few years. He won't want one. Okay. However long it takes. I threw out a few years, however long it takes. Okay. That's Seviv. So now, the Rebbe is going to spend the next 15 lines talking about Mamale, not Seviv. In order that you and I will understand Seviv, we have to understand Mamale. In order to understand infinite reality, we have to understand finite reality. Okay. The light that fills, the light that powers, energizes the world. Right? Again, the Rebbe did not talk about powers of the soul in this Maimer. We did. Why did we? Because we wanted a mashal to understand godliness. So the mashal is powers of the soul. Now the Rebbe, now that we understand that, it'll be much easier to understand what the Rebbe is going to teach us about godly light. And again, light just means energy. So Sevev is Ora Sevev Kol Amim Hameir B'chol Oilamus B'Shavah. 9 lines up. The Ba'oilamus, in worlds, 4 worlds the Rebbe is going to talk about. The 4 worlds of what we call Seder Ishtalshlus. The 4 worlds. The Ba'oilamus Hara Yesh Chilukim Medregas. There's different levels in worlds. There's higher worlds and lower worlds. Worlds of greater revelation, worlds of less revelation. Worlds of greater bittul, worlds of less bittul, which of course obviously has something to do with the revelation in the world. The upper worlds are not like the lower worlds. In the upper worlds, what is it that is definitional of the upper worlds? Why do we call them upper worlds? What makes them upper? It's not like they're not here. They're here like everything else. No spaceship is going to get you to Atzilus. Atzilus is here as much as Elam Haza is here. It's just not something that you and I experience here. Because what exactly is here? What does that mean? The light shines in a revealed way. In the lower worlds, the light does not shine in such a revealed way. And there is a world, we're sitting in it right now, that the light comes in a fashion of complete concealment. do not see godly light in this world. We see physical reality. We do not see the metaphysical energy powering that physical reality. V'yesh b'zeh chilukim madregas, they're different levels. Means upper worlds and lower worlds. Just like in powers of the soul, we said very, very clearly yesterday, there's more sophisticated and, so to speak, loftier and higher powers of the soul, intellect, and there's lower powers of the soul, movement. So the kli for intellect is a very, very sophisticated kli and very well protected by that skull around it. And the kli, the aver, the limb that expresses movement is not as sophisticated as the brain and can be smashed around a lot, and much less will happen to it, right? Again, we don't hear about boxers having sore hands. We hear about them having sore heads, right? Well, the hand hit the head, right? Didn't affect the hand, right? What's the big deal? Hand gets smashed around. Why? Not as subtle a kli as a brain. Okay, higher, lower in you and me. So higher, lower in godly light and in worlds. Ukemesha Kasuv. Always the Rebbeim bring psukim to show us this, so it's not just an idea that happens to be true, but it's also based in psukim, which makes it even truer, so to speak. Ukemesha Kasuv, af yodi yazda aretz, my hand founded aretz, v'yamini, and my right hand, tafka shemayim, formed shemayim. Oh, interesting, right? So everybody knows right, left. Right is revelation, left is concealment. So Eisib Medrash, where do we know that from? Because the Medrash teaches us. Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer. Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer is a very panimistic Medrash. Not a Yamina, he, so to speak, stretched out his right hand, Ubara Shemayim, and created Shemayim. V'nata Smeila, he stretched out his left hand, Ubara Aretz, and he created Aretz. V'yadu, it's known. The Yad Yamin, the right hand, Mara Allah or Vagilu Yos, right, teaches about greater light, greater revelation. They'll know this. Right? That's why we get dressed, right? Left-handed people, talk to a rabbi what you do. But most people are not left-handed. Most people, what do you do when you get dressed? You get dressed right-handed. Al pi Shulchan Aruch. This is not esoteric. It's Shulchan Aruch, right? You put your right arm in your shirt first. You put your right leg in your pants first. You put on your right sock first. You put on your right shoe first. The only thing you do first, left-handed, is you tie your left shoe first. Why? Because we tie tefillin in the left hand. Right? Everything is right. When you take it off, exactly the opposite. You take out your left leg. You take out your left arm. Right? That's how we get dressed. Right? Al pi Shulchan Aruch is not esoteric. Right? Why? Because we accentuate right. We accentuate chesed. When you approach HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you put your right foot forward first. Right? When you, for Shemona Esrei, the foot you plant first is your right, then you plant your left one next to your right one and stand there and say Shemona. When you leave first with your left. Okay. So we all know that. Right? And that's so the fact that the Eibusha created Shemayim, so to speak, with the right hand. What does Shemayim mean? It doesn't mean the stars and the moon and the sun. It means the upper worlds. Right? V'zeu, since right relates to revelation, v'zeu v'yaminei tafcha shemayim. His right hand formed shemayim. The shemayim hakavana. When we say shemayim, again, we don't mean the shemayim that you and I can see with our eyes when we look up at night. You see it in the day also, but obviously it's a lot more to see at night. Right? A shemayim hakavana eilam eselyonim is the upper worlds. Shama gilui bebechinas yamin. There, the revelation is in the quality of yamin. Shehu Gilu Ya'or, which is the revelation of the light. And now the Rebbe says something very, very interesting. Va'or atzmei hu bebechinas Gilui, and the light itself is in the quality of Gilui. In other words, there's two levels of Gilui: quantity and quality. There's more revelation of light, and the light that's revealed is a higher quality light, so to speak. Right? I mean, in the most mundane physical terms, you can think about light bulbs in 100 watts as opposed to 25 watts, Okay, the 100 watt light bulb gives off more light. It can also be in a situation where it's more revealed to the eye that's looking at it. Whereas the 25 watt light bulb is giving off less light, but is also, so to speak, it might be more concealed by whatever's around it, concealing part of its light. Okay, quality and quantity of the light itself. That's what the Rebbe says. The Ur itself is a different quality of light. It's not that there's just more of it. It's a higher quality, more powerful elokus, less diminished, less mitzunsam, descended down less. Va'aretz, what does Aretz refer to? The lower worlds. Hey, mebechinas smo, they are of the left quality. Why? Concealment. She'ena or begilui kol kach. The light is not so revealed. In other words, the kalim don't allow the light to be as revealed. They conceal the light a little more. We'll talk about that. V'gam ha'or atzmai ba bebechinas elam behester. The light itself is a more concealed light. Now, those two things, of course, go hand in hand, right? So just think about it in terms of your brain as opposed to your hand. The quality of soul energy clothed in the brain is much more powerful than the soul energy clothed in the hand. That's pretty clear. It's a higher quality of reality. Okay, it's also more revealed, right? Meaning the fact that our brain works the way our brain works reveals is a much greater revelation of the vitality that's clothed within us than our hand. There's a lot going on in there. Okay, there's a lot going on over here too, but okay, say that. It's a lower expression, both in terms of quality and quantity, right? Okay, so now we're going to see 4 worlds. Atzilus, Bria, Yetzira, Asiya. I don't have to write them on the board, they're going to be in the Bible. Right? Those 4 worlds are the 4 worlds of the reality that you and I call Seder Ishtalshelus. Seder Ishtalshelus literally means the order of orderly downward emanation. Lehishtalshel is to move downward in an orderly way. A shalshelet is a chain, right? Chain-like downward emanation of light, from higher level to lower level. Seder Ishtalshelus. The first world is Elam Atzilus. The Rebbe's going to talk about that. So let's see the worlds, and we'll bring Mashalim to help us understand something about the difference. Ki yadua hefresh b'daled elemes. Now, we're talking about mamale, because we're talking about difference. That means there's different levels of light in different worlds. What did we say about Soivev?
It encompasses the same equally.
It's found in all the worlds equally, right? It's found in all the worlds equally. There's no difference. Soivev down here and Soivev in Elam Atzilus, it's all the same Soivev, right? Okay, infinite's infinite. Finite? Well, finite, there can be more or less, more powerful, less powerful, more revealed, less revealed. Okay. Ki yadu hefresh b'daled elemes. Tichsiv, a pasuk that teaches us about the 4 worlds. Kol hanikra b'shmi, it's a pasuk in Yeshayahu, I think Mem Zayin. Tichsiv, kol hanikra b'shmi, all that's called in my name, v'lichvodi, and in my glory or in my honor. Barasiv, I created it. Elam habriya. Yatzartiv, I formed it. Elam hayitzira. Af asitiv, I even made it. Elam hasiya, the 3 lower worlds. Elam habriya, the world of creation. Elam hayitzira, the world of form. Elam hasiya, the world of action, physical world. Shehem Daled Elamis Abiyah. They are the 4 worlds. Abiyah, Atzilus, Bria, Yetzira, Asiya. That acronym, which you'll see a lot. All right? Atzilus, which we didn't mention here yet. It's going to be mentioned in 5 words. The other 3 were mentioned. Barativ, Yetzartiv, Asitiv. That's the base Yud and the Ayin. Bezeh ha'or eina. Now, a sentence that is absolutely impossible English syntax, but okay. Works perfectly in Lashon HaKodesh. Bezeh ha'or, in this the light, eina kamei shehu b'atzilus, is not like it is in Atzilus, kamei shehu b'bia, as it is like it is in Bia. Okay, now in English, how would you say that? The light in Atzilus is not at all like it is in Bia. In Bia, we mean the three lower worlds. What's the difference between Atzilus? The Rebbe just clearly separated between Atzilus and the three lower worlds. The three lower worlds are created reality. Elam Abriya, creation, the world of creation. Right? Elam Atzilus is not created reality. It's God. It's creator, not created. Right? Pretty serious difference. That reality that you and I call all the time, I mean, I don't know what language you call it. I guess if you speak Latin, you call it creatio ex nihilo, but maybe bria yesh miayin, the creation of something from nothing, so to speak. Okay, so where does that happen? That's when Olam Atzilus, which is called relative to what's below it, ayin, gives birth to Olam Abriya, the world of creation. That's where creation starts. Chochmah of Bria is the beginning of what you and I call created reality. Above that is creator, not created. The Eibishter has taken his energy and put it in a form that it can actually be the source of created reality. Okay? And that means there's a lot of tzimtzum involved, a lot of constriction. It's all a very serious process. And what exists in Eilam Atzilus? 10 spheres. There's actually an existence of 10. God's one, okay, that's true, God's one. There's also 10 different aspects of godly revelation. Still one. Right? He's so one, he can be 10, and he's still one. There's not a contradiction in any way, shape, or form. And those 10 spheres are found. What's the home address of those 10 spheres? Where do they come into a state of reality, of revelation? Let's see this. Are those powers of godliness existent above Atzilus? Absolutely, of course they are. But what? They're concealed. Why are they concealed? Because they're not revealed as separate. Again, they're not really separate in Atzilus either, but they seem to be. They're not revealed as separate aspects of godly reality. So there's no revelation of the notion of chesed in infinite godly light. Is it in there, so to speak? Yes, it's in there. It's subsumed in there, right? But it's not revealed in any way, shape, or form as something unique and separate, because the nature of infinite is it's one. Because where does it end such that the second thing begins? It's infinite, right? Okay, so it's a state of absolute oneness. So what is oneness is very, very useful. What does oneness not allow for? Differentiation. Okay, what is Olam Atzilus? The differentiation of godly powers, so that now we see some sort of revelation of the power of Chesed as opposed to the power of Gvura. Where do those powers come from? They're subsumed in the infinite light, but they're not revealed in the infinite light. Where do they come into a state of revelation? A place called Olam Atzilus. What allows for the revelation? The Kalim in Atzilus, which are called spheres. Just like we've done this how many times? What allows for the revelation of the blue in the light that's out here? There's no blue in the light out here. You do not see it. It's completely hidden. Is it in there? Of course it's in there. Every color is in there. Not in a state of differentiation and revelation. What reveals it? This Kli reveals blue. And another Kli will reveal green. And another Kli will reveal red. Another Kli will reveal yellow. Right? The Kelim will reveal different aspects of the light. Are those aspects of the light in the light out here? Yes. Are they revealed? No. Why? No Kli. So the light out here, so to speak, is infinite. And once it hits the Kli, it's transformed into finite, so to speak. Now the light isn't transformed, but the light is revealed as finite reality, not infinite reality. Which is really quite astounding. That the Eibusher can do such a thing, but he can do anything. So the Rebbe says, "B'zeh or einu kameshu b'atzilus kameshu b'biyah." That Atzilus, what's Atzilus? Hu b'chinas gilui ha'helen, the revelation of that which is hidden. Well, that's what we just talked about. What's revealed in Atzilus? That which was hidden in the levels above Atzilus. Differentiated godly energy, 10 spheres, not revealed in infinite godly light. Yes, revealed in Eilam Atzilus? Are they there on the step above, so to speak? Yes, of course they're there.
Is there a name?
They're
for
just
the
not
step above
revealed.
it?
What?
Is there a name for the step above it?
Or a Seviv. Is there a specific name for the direct source of Chochmah Atzilus? Yes. It's called Arich. We'll get there. Next mimer, maybe. I don't know, but Mamish the next one, but yeah, we'll learn about Arich and Atik, two different levels in Kesser. But
Quick question.
hmm?
What was the definition for Zever Status that we...
Orderly downward emanation of light. But for all intents and purposes, that mean 4 worlds: Atzilus, Bria, Yetzira, Asiya. Now, they're in the mimer, so we'll see them. Right, those words. Okay, so those 4 worlds are called Seder Ishtalshus. And so when you see in a mimer, L'mayla mi Seder Ishtalshus, beyond Seder Ishtalshus, so that means, in different contexts, it means different things, but simply it means beyond the 4 worlds, i.e. beyond what you and I might call the natural order. We saw that a lot in Hanukkah, L'mayla mi Seder Ishtalshus, what that means, supernatural. Okay, well, supernatural means beyond all the worlds, not just this one. Why is it called Atzilus? So the Rebbe is going to give 2 explanations of the word Atzilus. Generally, how do we translate Atzilus? Anybody know? You read it in English. What does it usually say? Did you copy the English over there? What does it say?
Creation.
Emanation. Usually it says emanation, world of emanation. Right? Okay? But that's one of the pshatim the Rebbe is going to say. Usually when you see in English, it's the world of emanation. Atzilus miloshen etzloi v'samach. It's by him and close. Atzilut miloshen etzel. Right? Etzel means, it's by something. Meaning I ate by him. Achalti etzlo. Right? You don't really say that in English, but in Hebrew you do, and in Yiddish you do, and that's why Jews talk that way. Right? I ate by him. Right? You mean you ate at his house? Yes, I ate at his house. But we'll say, I ate by him. In Yiddish, you actually say, by him. That's exactly what you say, right? But in Hebrew, what you say, achalti etzlo, by him, at his house. Okay, etzel, next to, samuch, close to. So what does that mean? A world that is so close to godliness, so to speak. As a matter of fact, it is godliness. It's like, the mashal brought for Atzilus is often a hinge on a door. Mm-hmm. Right? Is the hinge part of the door or part of the house? So Atzilus is the hinge. Is it the Eibishter or is it a world? It's both. It's a world of Eibishter. Now the word world, of course, what does the word world mean? Where does it come from? The word olam, from what root? Ha'elim, concealment. The word olam means a place of concealment. So even Eilam Atzilus, on a certain level, relative to what's above it, is a place of concealment, because what's concealed, what's not revealed in Eilam Atzilus? Think about it in terms of what we've been talking about. What's not revealed in Eilam Atzilus? Okay, we haven't used that word in this mimer. There is a word we could use. You're right. But that word is so hard to understand, and there's so many maimarim trying to explain that word that it's a dangerous word to use. Because what does Ein Sof mean? Right? Does Ein Sof mean Atzmus? Okay. I don't know whether Atzmus is concealed in Atzilus. As a matter of fact, I would say Atzmus is taka there. What's not there? Based on what we've been talking about. So to speak, again, it's there, but it's not revealed. What's not? What?
Will? Or no?
Save it, right? Infinite reality. Yeah. Right? Save it. That's what we've been talking about. Save it v'nomale, so we can use those words. Right? Save it v'nomale. That the save it is not revealed. If you were to, so to speak, go beyond Eilam Atzilus, you're hanging out up there. What aspect? What level of reality? What reality is revealed to you? Save it. What does that look like? I don't know. Right? But you'd be subsumed by infinite reality. That would be your experience. Right? What does that look like? Haven't got a clue. Is there a me there? Well, I don't think so. Because if I'm part of that infinite, then I'm just part of that infinite. Right? So there's no me to be part of the infinite. Okay, but fine. Okay, so I somehow would experience the existence of infinite godly light, which must be something quite astounding. Okay, but if I'm in Elam Atzilus, I'm not experiencing infinite godly light. I'm experiencing a certain expression of godly light. Chesed, Gvura. It's not finite like cups and watches, but it's different than the level above it. Because that's what Kalim do, right? What do Kalim do? And the spheres are Kalim to reveal godliness. What do Kalim do? They reveal a certain aspect of something, and they hide the infinite aspect of that thing. So godly Kalim, what do? Any Kli, what does it do? It reveals a specific expression of godly energy. This thing also. It only exists because God gives it its existence. Okay. So it's revealing a certain very limited aspect of godly energy. What's it hiding? Infinite godly energy. Because if it were to reveal infinite, then all of us would go out of existence. We wouldn't exist, right? Because what would be here? Infinite would be here. Who's not here? Us, because we're not infinite. We wouldn't be here, right? That's what would happen. Okay, so the Eibishter, in order to create a reality that experiences itself, so he allows for the existence of finite reality. And so you and I experience reality as finite. That means I can experience myself and that I'm not Noach. He's over there and I'm over here. That's in finite reality. That's the way it works. That'll also work by angels in Elam Abriya. Right? I don't know exactly how you differentiate between things in metaphysical space. I don't know how that works, right? We don't live in places like that. I guess the closest thing we could imagine is the differentiation between one thought and another thought in our head. Right? They're differentiated. They're two different ideas. Okay, they're taking up different space. Well, I don't know. What does that mean exactly? Well, yeah, they are in our head. Right? Can you open up the head and find this one? Oh, he's over here and this one's over here? No, of course not, because it's not that kind of space. But they are taking up different places in our intellect. Okay. So that's the closest you and I can get. Atzilus, even Atzilus, relative to what's above it, is a certain state of finitude to the extent that there's 10 spheres. Right? Not finite like you and I experience, but relative to what's above it, it's definitely somehow finite. Vatzilus miloshen etzlei v'samuch v'chein, also Perish Atzilus miloshen hatzala v'hafrasha. With that, that's emanation. Hafrasha is something that comes out of something else. Okay, I'm sorry for being physical about it, but doctors. A hafrasha is when you have something infected and something's coming out of it. The hafrasha from the infected cut, that's a hafrasha. Okay? Something coming out of something else. Tatzilus. Aleph, Ayin, Hey is not Amaharetz. It often is, but it isn't in this context. It's im heyoto, even though it is. Im heyoto. Im heyose bechinas elam, even though it's a quality of world, and therefore on a certain level there's some aspect of concealment. Aval b'chlal in general, hu b'chlal elam ein sof. It's amongst the worlds of Ein Sof, which in this context means simply godly worlds, infinite worlds. So again, that hinge. Mitzad echad, it's a world, so it's part of Seder Yishtalshelus. It's very connected to the existence of the world that we're walking around in. On the other hand, it's godliness. Nothing to do with creation. It's creator. The Eibishter has, so to speak, processed his energy such that it can be the source of created reality, and that's Olam Atzilus.
You say Ein Sof here is?
What does Ein Sof mean? Infinite. Here, infinite. Worlds, infinite worlds. Worlds of Ein Sof. So it's, on one hand, that. On the other hand, it's Mamale. It's a world of 10 spheres. Mashein Ken, that's not the case. Meaning, Bria is not Bechlal Elam Ein Sof. It's not a godly world. Mashein Ken Bria, Shu Hascholas HaMetzias, It's the beginning of existence, bebechinas, in the quality of yesh, something created, mi'ayin, from something that's not created. When we say yesh mi'ayin relative to Atzilus and Bria, so Bria is obviously Atzilus is obviously the ayin of it, and Bria is the yesh. So yesh, Elam Bria, comes from ayin, Elam Atzilus. So they're yesh and ayin relative to each other. What is the yesh of Bria? It's a created reality. What is the ayin of Atzilus? It's not created reality. Okay, that's just the simplest understanding of yesh mi'ayin. Obviously, there are different levels of understanding it all, but that's the simplest, most basic understanding of those words. Now, yes, yesh means I have a certain awareness of my own existence. Ayin, well, I'm not aware of my own existence. I'm not aware of my own separateness, let's put it that way. Okay. Elam Abriya is a world of yesh. What's there? Angels. Neshamas. The source of neshamas is Elam Atzilus. The source of your neshama is Elam Atzilus. Not the ultimate source. The ultimate source is Atzilus. But the source of your neshama in its revealed form, so to speak, is Elam Atzilus. You say that every single day. Right? I hope you said it this morning already, because you should have said brachas before you walked in the room or after you walked in your room. The first thing you do when you walk in the room, there's someone who does that every single day. Right? Okay. And what are the, we're not allowed to learn if we didn't say Brichas Torah, right? If we didn't say Brichas Torah, we're not allowed to learn Torah. It's like eating an apple without making a Boruch right? So you have to say Brichas Torah at least before you walk in the room. We should say all morning brachas before you walk in the room. And one of the things you said was Elokai, Neshama Shenasad Bi Taharahi. The Neshama that you put in Bi Taharahi, it's pure, Elam Atzilus. Atabarasa, you created it, came into Elam Abriya. Atayatzarta, you formed it, came into Elam Yitzira. Atanafachta Bi, you blew it into me, it came into a body in Elam Asiya. Neshama, the source of the Neshama is Taharahi, Atzilus. Godliness. Okay. So it's like that hinge. Bria is not that. Bria is yesh. It's a state of created reality. It's not the Eibishter. Right? Now, you say, Ein Od Milvado, everything's the Eibishter. Okay, Seder, yes, I get it. But this isn't God. Don't call this God. This is a cup. Does it have absolute existence? No. Does it have relative existence? Yes, as a cup. And if you think there's no difference between this and a Sefer Torah, then you're not a healthy person, right? Because the Sefer Torah is something holy and this isn't, right? Is this ultimately as godly as the Sefer Torah? Meaning, does this ultimately exist solely as a result of God's energy, just like the Sefer Torah? Yes, absolutely. Is this ultimately completely batal b'metzias and has no absolute existence? Yes, that's true. Okay, but don't bow down to it. That's a bad mistake. 50-something negative commandments in the Torah telling you not to do that. Okay. So there's something called yesh, there's something called created reality, right? Which isn't the Eibishter, so to speak. Okay, where's that start? What's there? Angels. Right? And levels of souls that are basically created. Where's your soul go? Not yours. Yours isn't going anywhere. Mashiach will come. He'll be here forever. But souls that have left this world, spent their time down here, and go somewhere called Gan Eden. Where's Gan Eden? Gan Eden Tachtain is in Elam HaYetzira. Gan Eden Elyon, upper Gan Eden, is in Elam HaBriya. Right? So the holiest people around there in Elam HaBriya. Your regular everyday folk are in Elam HaYetzira. I think they hear what happens in the Farbrengens up there in Yetzira. It's like, Rav Dimi and Rav Avin used to go between Eretz Yisrael and Bavel, and they'd come and tell what's going on in Eretz Yisrael. Someone, lets them know down there in Elam Yitzira what's going on in the Farbrengens and Elam HaBriya. Like, okay, different levels of neshama. When you're davening for a loved one who is now in Gan Eden, you're davening to elevate their neshama. It'd be nice to neshama to elevate up to Gan Eden Elyon, a higher level of godly revelation. Mashain kein bria shu aschalas hametzias bebechinas yesh miyayin. 6th line. V'zeu, and this is what the pasuk means. Kol nikra b'shmi v'lichvedi. Now, the only world that wasn't mentioned explicitly in that pasuk at the top on the top line was Atzilus. Oh, so the Rebbe explains. Atzilus is not called Atzilus. It's called Shmi and Chvedi. It's still him. Right? The Shmi Uchvedi, my name, my honor, my glory. Hu miyuchad bi adayin. It's still completely one with me, united with me. It's me. And what's that? Shekai al Elam Atzilus. That's relevant to Elam Atzilus. Shu Elam hayichud v'iskalus, the world of unity and incorporation, in a place of oneness. So even though there's 10 spheres, the 10 spheres are all incorporated in each other. So it's not that they're 10 separate realities which have nothing to do with each other. Adarabba, they exist in absolute harmony to such an extent that not only is there a sphere called Chesed, but there's a reality, and there's a reality called Gevura, but there's also a reality of Gevura shebechesed and Chesed shebegvura. Right? They also encompass each other. Right? And you say that Sphere Somer, you talk about that very clearly. 49 days talk about how each of the 7 midas contains within it all 7 midas, right? A state of unity, a state of incorporation. Sha'or sham b'tachlis hagilu. The light there is in a state of absolute revelation. De'ena doima klal, and that isn't similar at all. L'kameshu beilam esbiyah, as it is in the 3 worlds of Bria, Yitzir, Asiya. Atzilus stands alone. And now one more line of all of this. Ubabia Atzman, and in those 3 worlds themselves, Yesh Chiluka Madregas, there's obviously different levels. Bahagilui Ardes, relative to the revelation of godly light in those worlds. Like we say, there's 3 different levels, obviously. The fact that we call them 3 different worlds, I mean, there's obviously 3 different states of reality, 3 different levels of reality. And what differentiates between one level and another level? Revelation. How powerfully is God revealed there? Now that produces another clear distinction. The experience of separate existence, yesh. How much yesh is there in each world, and how much bittul is there in each world. This is a world of tremendous yesh, not a lot of bittul. Eilam Bria is a world of yesh, but that yesh is completely bottled to a Kadosh Baruch. If you were to ask an angel to talk about himself, he won't. He's not interested. He'll only talk to you about God. He's just not interested in talking about himself.
When Mashiach comes, what will be the difference between this world? Because this world will have a lot of godliness in it, and it will basically be like the cup. We're seeing just as much godliness as the cup as like a sacred Torah or like something like that. So what will be the difference between this world and the other worlds?
A very good question. This world will be the revelation of a level beyond anything we just described, beyond Lamala and beyond Sefer. It will be the revelation of Etzem, which we'll see after we finish Ois Aleph. We'll see a little piece of our Rebbe's first mimer, where we'll explain the end of Ois Aleph and how the most powerful revelation of godliness comes from the dark, which is where you and I are now. We're in the dark, learning how to play in the dark. Remember that story about the golfer? Playing golf? That's Eilam. So ultimately this world will be the revelation of, meaning when up, so to speak, up there in Etzem, the Abish said, a deer b'tachtoni would be a kick. That would be cool. Okay, so what does that mean? Who wants to be revealed down there? Well, who, so to speak, just said, I want a dir b'tachtoni? The essence of the Eibishter just said that. So then what's going to be revealed down here? Not or. That's it. Something beyond or. Ultimately. That's what, and we'll see. The Rebbe's going to explain that to us in quite an astounding way. But we'll see. I should have put it here actually, so it's part of your staple. But I didn't. We'll see one half ois of our Rebbe's first mimer, which I think some of you started learning last night based on the WhatsApps that were making my phone buzz, which is annoying. Actually, they don't make it buzz anymore. I took those notifications off because it was buzzing too much. There's so much action in Mayanot. So, but yeah, I can still see it. Still a number next to it. Okay, so you're learning Tafshin Yud Aleph. You're learning our Rebbe's first mimer. This is the Frierdiker Rebbe's last mimer. Okay, 4 worlds. Now we've done this before, but we'll do it again. Except there aren't very many props in this room. Oh, there's another one. It's not as good as it could be. It'll do. We'll have to do. Actually, no, we won't do. Say it. Now, what I'm about to tell you is a mashal only for the kalim of the 4 worlds, not the of the 4 worlds. Say there, okay, clear? We are not discussing the difference between the light that shines in each world. We're talking about the difference of the kalim in each world, such that we experience reality the way we experience it in each world. Meaning, if you and I would take a field trip to Elam Abriya, so we would see revealed godliness. Down here, we don't. Okay, what's the difference? So we'll start with Elam Abriya. We'll go Briya, Yitzira, Asiya, and then we'll go back up to Atzilus. Okay, Elam Abriya. I mean, this isn't really good enough. Maybe it is actually. Is this tinted blue? Not really, right? Okay, good. Okay, here, this will be Elam Abriya, right? The water is the mashal for godly light, right? Is this the same as what's in it? No, it's not. But what does this kli do without any of its own personality, so to speak, being part of the process? What does it do? Reveals what's in this bottle completely and totally, does not hide it, and does not try to get you to exclaim the beauty of the bottle. That gets you to exclaim, oh, Baruch Hashem, water, I'm thirsty. Right? Okay. This is Elam Abriya. There is a kli that isn't the Eibishter Mamish, right? It's a created reality, but it's completely bottle to the Eibishter, therefore it reveals its godliness, not its self. It's a malach. Right? Okay. Like Rabbi Kaplan always says, right? Try to get someone to talk about God. They might not talk for very long, but if you get them to talk about themselves, you better have a comfortable seat. Okay? So that's not Elam Abriya. Elam Abriya, if you try to get that malach to talk about himself, he's just not interested. He's just not interested in talking about himself. He just does not see himself as the center of reality. He sees God as the center of reality. He's aware of the fact that he exists. He's aware of that. Meaning he is a yesh. He experiences his own yeshus, but he's mivatal it. He's not interested in it. Right? Now, there's no avodah there, so he doesn't have to do the avodah of bittul yesh. He just is existentially a state of yesh I take that word state out. He is a yesh that is in a state of bittul, existentially. That's just what he is. Right? He doesn't have to do anything to be that. Right? Okay. So what's he interested in? Revealing godliness. That's all he cares about. Even though he's not God. He's a created being. But he's completely bottled to the Eibishter. So he's like this. Completely bottled to what's in it. It reveals what's in it in a very clear way. I know exactly what's in it, how much, what it is. No concealment whatsoever. The kli doesn't express its own existence other than to say, I'm a bottle of water. Okay. Say, okay. How about a Sprite bottle? So a Sprite, now you and I all know what comes out of the Sprite bottle because we've all poured it out of the Sprite bottle at some point in our life. Okay, but I don't know what's inside a Sprite bottle. So let's pretend this is a Sprite bottle. So I don't know what's inside a Sprite bottle. Now, is the bottle concealing what's in it? No, it's revealing what's in it. But it's also revealing it a little bit of its own yeshus, its own existence. I'm a nice green. Now they have these clear Sprite bottles, which is really blasphemous. Right, okay. Right, I'm a nice green. So now what's the color? I know there's liquid in the bottle. In no way, shape, or form does the bottle say everything's about me. The bottle is clearly also saying what's really important is the stuff in me. Mm-hmm. That's for sure. That's the godly light in me. Right? Okay, there's no question. But the bottle is also revealing its own yeshus to such an extent that it doesn't clearly reveal to me what the true reality of what's in it is, right? Because after all, what is the color of that liquid in there? Well, I'm not sure. It could be ginger ale color, right? Not exactly sure what's in there, right? Now, you and I know it's clear, because we've seen it come out, but I mean, it could have a slight tinge, I don't know. It's hard to tell, right? Because the bottle colors a little bit my experience of what's in it. Doesn't hide it at all. Doesn't hide it. It hides its quality. What exactly is it? By virtue of revealing a little more of itself, its greenness and how nice, such a nice shade of green. I'm not a ginger ale bottle. That's a very crass, dark shade of green. I'm a much more subtle shade of green. Ugh, ginger ale, Canada Dry, 51st state. Right? Okay. Okay. So the Sprite bottle has a little bit of its own yeshus, but chas v'sholem to say it's hiding what's in it. It's not. It's revealing it. Just not quite as clearly as this thing is.
Yeah, sorry, but they're both not like revealing the taste that's inside. Like that's water. It tastes a certain way. The Sprite tastes not like water. It tastes like a sweet liquid. So
Okay, so you're fair. Okay, so even we can even go there with your take your mushel. I do know what this tastes like because I know what water is, and this is clearly water. This is right now. What if this were a little more opaque? Right, I think that's the word, right? Mm-hmm. If this were more opaque, is it bubbly water or plain water? I wouldn't know, but I do know because it's showing me very, very clearly what I'm getting. It's not. It's just not hiding as much, right? And it's revealing what's in it. Whereas the Sprite bottle, I don't know. Now, even if you have a Coke bottle, if you look at a Coke bottle, right away you know whether you've got flat Coke or Coke that still has some gas in it, right? Right away you know. Sprite bottle, not as clear. Now we're all very good at our divers, right? So you'll figure out other little bubbles on the side of the bottle or not. But the Coke bottle will reveal that to you more clearly than the Sprite bottle. That's all I'm saying. That's in terms of the mushel. That's all we're saying. I agree. I'm not. I said very, very clearly. We are not explaining this mushel has nothing to do with the nature of the light. It's all about the kli. How much is the kli revealing? Think of Eilam Abriya as a Coke bottle. Reveals very, very clearly what's in it, and its whole metzius is about what's in it, not about itself. Eilam Yitzira, Sprite bottle. It reveals what's in it, but it has a little bit of its own yeshus. I'm the nice green. Okay. What's Eilam Hazeh Gashmi? Anything in there? Did I finish my coffee? You guys don't know, right? I remember once doing this, and someone said, yeah, but if you go like that, oh, there's nothing in here, Taka. I thought I had one more sip left. And if you go like that, you can see, beautiful. Eilam Hazeh, if you look from above, you can see the elokus in it. But if you look at it like that, you can't see anything. You can see it. Now everybody drinks in these things, right? So you can't, even no matter where you go, you can't see anything in those things, right? But that's now, and most coffee cups now have covers on them. That's a rest. So you see the world is getting darker and darker and darker relative to our mushel, right? But okay, this is Eilam Hazeh Gashmi. Anything in here? I don't know. Can't see. It hides it completely. So what is this cut? As a matter of fact, it really is interesting, just in terms of the mushel of it all. Right? We all have grandmothers, mothers or grandmothers or great-grandmothers, depending on your age, who have a bureau with teacups, with the saucers behind the teacups, kalim, that have nothing to do with ever having anything in them. There will never, ever, ever be tea in those teacups. They are simply there, mitzad the metzias of the kli. That's Olam Hazeh Gashmi. No such thing in higher worlds. Because it's all about the ore in it. I mean, even the Sprite bottle, it's all it's interested in is revealing godliness. Okay, I have a Seder, I'll tell you my name and I'll tell you where I was born before I start talking about God. You can't get anything out of a Malach and Bria. But the guy down, and the Olam Yitzir, okay, my name's such and such and I was born over there. And okay, now let's get to the interesting.
So, talking about looking into the cup itself and see that there's something in there. What about, like here, like any bottle that looks like it's concealing, we don't know what kind of a drink it is. Or if there's anything in it, we shake it, and we realize...
Okay, say there, you might say, okay, fine. So you said shake. I said, I was just quoting someone else who said, look from the top. Right? Okay, but even if I shake, I don't know what's in it, whereas this way I obviously see. If I elevate myself, I'm going to probably see a lot more. Okay, that was the mushal. It's a nice idea, but we're not. What we're really interested in is the three different levels of the worlds in terms of how they conceal godliness, and these three mashalim are very, very helpful in understanding that. What's Eilam Atzilus?
Ocean.
No.
Ice
What's
cup.
Eilam Atzilus? Right, Eilam Atzilus. We've talked about this before. Eilam Atzilus is an ice cup. What's ice? H2O. What's in the cup? H2O. It's all the same. Just there's H2O in a state of solid, and there's H2O in a state of liquid, right? There's also H2O in a state of gas, I know that, okay? But that's not so useful for our mushal, because it disappears. Okay, so the H2O in the state of liquid is so to speak, that's the elokus in the cup. The H2O in the state of solid is the cup holding the H2O, but it's also H2O. What are the spheres? Elokus. It's not that there's something containing elokus, that there's a kli that's a separate created reality that is revealing godliness. No, it's all the Eibishter. Even the kli, even the vessel is Eibishter, is elokus. And that's what we say about Eilam Atzilus, that the kelim themselves are elokus. If you would ever learn a mimer about Eilam Atzilus, that's what it would say about Eilam Atzilus. The kelim themselves are elokus. This is not elokus. This is a created reality. What gives it its existence? Elokus. But it itself is a paper cup. Okay? In Atzilus, the cup itself is the Eibishter Mamish in a completely revealed way. There's no concealment whatsoever. That's why the Rebbe said it's Taklis Agilu, the place of absolute revelation. There's no concealment whatsoever. In Eilam Abriya, there's a certain level of concealment, because at least I do see that there's a Malach who's not the Eibishter. This Malach is all about revealing the Eibishter. He's Batel, but he's a Yesh that's Batel. Eilam Atzilus, there's no Yesh. All there is a Metzias, an existence. And that existence is Batel. We learned about it we took it off the board yesterday. We learned about it in the Maimer of Hanukkah. Bittul b'metzias, the highest level of bittul. Okay. Its whole metzias is bittul, meaning it's elokus. It's just elokus. It's nothing else. Really, that's what we are. That's a much truer expression of reality than anything else. Okay, beseder, but the reality you and I experience is a reality of yesh. And our avodah is to come to a state of bittul hayesh. That's our avodah. Our avodah is within the context of experiencing our own existence as separate and independent from God, to lessen that independence to the extent that we can, and realize that we truly exist solely to reveal Him, and it's not about me. That's called bittul hayesh. Hard to do. I can even involve myself in my own spirituality. Right? Even if I connect to something spiritual, I'll turn it into my spirituality and my spiritual growth and my ability to learn a page of Gemara and my advancement. Okay, so all that all has to happen, right? I have to do all that stuff, but while I'm doing all that stuff, I have to sort of remember to take myself out of that this isn't about me, it's about the Eibishter. Hard to do? Yes. For human beings with a nefesh elokis, which are called Jews, it's a very hard thing to do. For everybody else, it's even harder. Well nigh impossible. Right? Okay. Stay there. So those are the four worlds. But that's all what? All, everything we just said, everything we learned about today. Look at that, it's 8:30. It's 8:30? Wait, it's after 8:30. We have to stop. We're going to turn into a pumpkin. I do that in public. It's embarrassing. Right? All of that is mamale. Sunday morning, Bez Hashem, we'll talk about Soivev. Now that we understand mamale. Okay. Anybody in the Gemara class? There is class today, okay? Even though it's Thursday, which we usually don't have class. But there is class. So get that word out to the guys. Okay. We don't usually have class on Thursday, but there's nothing to review because we just started.
Thank you, Rabbi Kaplan.
Nice to see you. How's mom? Yes, having a good time?
She's loving it.
Baruch
She
Hashem.
listens as well.
Why, she is